So I ate some bad hamburgers, and as I was eating the second one, my stomach started to hurt already. It tasted really gross to me, and I was like, I don't think this is a good hamburger. But I pay for my own food, man, because I'm a grown-up, so I was like, I better finish it. Otherwise, it's a waste of money. Oh, now I regret it. So this is a TvZ, and TvZ have been doing mech. It's funny, I have my phone set so that there's only 1 hour during the day when it'll actually ring. All other times it'll go to voicemails, like, right away. And that's when all the freaking sales calls come. So, anyway, ignore that phone thing. So you're doing the Reactor Hellion Marauder opening with 3 factory, then 5 factory follow-up. And your Zerg opponent took a quick gold. And you want to have something up your sleeve for when this happens, because if you just let him have a quick gold, the game can end based on that alone. And you'll notice that a lot of times when people take a quick gold, they spine up at their gold, they keep your army at the gold, but they don't defend their natural. And if they try to defend both, they end up with a tiny income. So he has a quick gold, but he's mining less than you. So don't be too afraid of the quick gold. What you're really afraid of is the quick gold after 11 or 12 minutes. That's what's really scary. So one good thing to do to punish a quick gold is just make like 8 siege tanks off of 2 factories and have like 4 or 6 Hellions behind them. And there's just nothing before mutas that can stop that. But people tend not to get mutas really quickly when they're worried about making enough lings and spines to defend their quick gold. Another thing is if you just make a ton of lings, you can like run them behind here, and all you can do is throw these lings away at them, and they'll just instantly die. So it's completely useless. But anyway, it doesn't look like the quick gold is going to come into play here at all, because your Zerg opponent is terrible, and he's not even spending the money he's getting from taking that gambit. So who really cares? You're very tank light in this game and the other TvZ from you that I saw. I really want the way that TvZ mech is meant to play is you're supposed to use your Hellions in the early game to really just keep him on his toes. There's constantly supposed to be suiciding Hellions, Hellions with a drop ship going into his main, Hellions with no drop ship harassing his natural, Hellions at the main and natural at the same time, Hellions trying to prevent his third, Hellions everywhere. Because Hellions are the most annoying thing in the world to Zerg until they have either mutas or infestors, because Hellions are faster than everything. So he can't chase them down and kill them. As long as they don't go on creep, they can go anywhere they want and they can get away. And that's really, really annoying for the Zerg dude. And I'm not saying you should do more Hellion micro. I'm fine with you not doing any. I'm just saying this is how TvZ is meant to be played. So you use the Hellions to keep map control until you have like 10 tanks. So this last time you pushed out with 3 tanks, and it drove me insane, because the whole point of mech is to have a huge tank count, and you pushed out with only 3 tanks. It's like, well, why'd you do that? This time you're actually pushing out with 8 tanks, 7 tanks, so that's much better. And you're going to see that this works a lot better when you have 7 tanks than when you have 3. You do keep retreating your Hellions and letting the roaches shoot at your tanks. I don't know, it worked out in this case, but in general you want your Hellions to be tanking for the tanks, because tanks cost gas, and you have exactly 440 gas per minute, and you can't get any more. But Hellions cost minerals, and the number of mules you drop determines the number of minerals you have. Also, the number of workers you make determines the number of minerals you have. It's really easy to get a ton of minerals, but it's like impossible to get a ton of tanks. So it's okay to lose tons of Hellions and reinforce with more and more Hellions. Also, Hellions run so quickly that they can reinforce like instantly, whereas tanks, you don't want tanks to try to reinforce during your push, because if they get caught in the backfield and surrounded by lings, they'll just all die. So this push worked a lot better for you than pushes in the past, for a few reasons. One, your opponent was terrible. He didn't have nearly enough army. He has all this money but no larva. Like, he should have made 4 more hatcheries. And 2, because you waited until you had at least 7 tanks. So this is, you know, this was better, but you still have the problem that you have 2,000 minerals that you can't really spend. So you want, in each one of these battles, you want to be losing all your Hellions and instantly building 10 more Hellions. Lose 10 Hellions, build 10 Hellions, lose 10 Hellions. That's the only way to use those minerals. And you never want to lose all your Hellions at once. You want, you know, 10 in the back, 10 in the front. The 10 in the front die, you build 10 more, put them in front, build 10 more, put them in front kind of thing. Because if you ever have 0 Hellions living, then you're just going to die to a Lynx around. But when things die, you want those things to be called Hellions. Big tank counts, super important. I don't know that you're building enough tanks even now. And gas is crazy important. So you want to pre-build double command centers as you push out. And then, not as you push, before you push out, and then you just want to land them both at once as you're pushing. So throw a Hellion over here and a Hellion over here to mop up any lings that are trying to prevent you from landing, and build 2 PFs at once. Then if he comes and denies one of your PFs, you just lift it and float away, and now you have a PF that got secured in the backfield for free, because he can't deny them both at once. I mean, he can, but most people won't be able to. So pushing is... when you push into somebody, he has to stare at your push because he needs to survive it, and that means that he's not staring at your expos, and that's the perfect time to expo. So I do love that at this point you've spent $12,000 on your army, and you're just constantly 2-basing and 2-basing and 2-basing and just overrunning him that way. That's a perfectly valid way to play. I like it. You did it well. Good job. This is something I've noticed in not your games, but in other people's games. Never make 2 armories if you're not going to use either one of them. In general, your tank count is more important than your upgrades until you have a 3rd, because you only have 400 gas per minute, and you don't want to be dumping 200 of it into upgrades and then 400 of it into upgrades. That's like a whole minute when you get no siege tanks if you dump $400 for your 2-2 upgrades. And then your 3-3 upgrades is 500. That's like more than a whole minute. So 1 armory and keep it constantly working, not 2 armories that are doing nothing. That's a waste of money. I would guess, I didn't look, but let's look. So yeah, you had a worker problem. No, you didn't. He did. Huh. 42 workers with 4 lost means... wait, no, you killed 4, so 0 lost. So you're 2 workers short. I'm okay with that. 2 workers is no big deal. And then at 12 minutes you're going to have 52. And you should have your $2,400 income. Only 1 mule, so I'll forgive him a little bit less than that. But stop calling me, people. This is a $2,100 income, so you're $300 behind, but that's totally fine. $2,100 is great. It's much better than last time when you had a $1,600 income at this point. So good. You got a big income. You kept it for a long time. You used it to make a giant army, and you killed your opponent. I like it. I like it. You've done well. More tanks, more Hellions. Have enough muta defense at a reasonable time. Make enough Thors to survive mutas. Take your 3rd and 4th quicker, but in general, this was good. I liked it.